These aliens don't even know what pleasure is. They gotta live a little.
Like, what are they doing?
Come on, guys. Yeah, what are you doing? What do you exist for, wormhole aliens?
Shooting orbs out your wormhole.
Hey everyone, I'm Cole Paulson.
And I'm Lily Rosson. Welcome to Deep Space Wine, a podcast that attempts to recap and decode every episode of Deep Space Nine, the forgotten stepchild of the Star Trek universe. Each episode we will share a bottle of wine, wind down, and then wind ourselves up again with our strong opinions about DS9.
Mm-hmm.
Because in our social experience, there is nothing people love more than when someone talks at length about Star Trek or wine.
Yeah, you and I have known for years that we enjoy drinking wine together. And I think we were about halfway through a bottle one night when we also discovered our mutual love of Star Trek.
Yeah.
But you had not watched Deep Space Nine.
No, surprise.
Yeah, so it took years of convincing, and you finally started watching. And now we've got this podcast.
Yeah, no regrets.
Our destiny is fulfilled.
Yeah.
Much like Benjamin Sisko.
Oh.
And you have chosen a wine to pair with this first episode,
I
yes?
have, and I'm really excited.
Oof, tell me about it.
So tonight's wine is 2022 Village Pinot Noir. This is by one of my favourite producers, Gentle Folk, which is located in Basket Range, which is in the Adelaide Hills in South Australia. They make minimal intervention wines, but they're always so clean and classic tasting. They don't taste like dishwater, like a lot of natural organic wines can. Not all, they can.
Can I try it?
Yeah. Let me crack it open. It's ASMR noises. So I do have a bunch of tasting notes for it.
Yeah, okay. It looks delicious.
Yeah. So it's from the Adelaide Hills, so it's from quite a cool climate, like a lot of Pinot Noir. And these are some notes from the producers. They say it has a lot of drinkability and a dance of tannin across the palate.
Ooh, I like that.
But that it's a bit more structured and brooding than previous vintages.
Structured and brooding. Well,
Yeah.
have I got a TV show that sounds like that too?
Right? I think it was kind of perfect. But yeah, I did also look up a bunch of other tasting notes, and they said that it has good smashability. So I think that's important too.
A few characters on Deep Space Nine have good smashability as well.
Do tell. No, let's wait.
I think this wine's teeing us up great.
It's
Lily.
Dax. I mean, what?
What? But which one?
Oh, man.
Step at a time.
So I thought maybe we could go into a little bit about our personal experiences with Star Trek and our relationship with Star Trek together.
I would like nothing more. Cheers to
Cheers.
toward episode 1.
Woo! ASMR.
Oof.
What do you think?
I'm feeling brooding structure dancing on my palate.
A dancing tannin.
There's a brooding dance.
Yeah. It actually has a little bit more tannin than I was expecting. Maybe it just needs to open up a little bit. But there's still a lot of fruit. It's very smashable.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Star Trek, you and me.
Sure, maybe I'll start because I think my relationship with Star Trek started years and years before yours. I've only been drinking wine for a decade, but I have known that Star Trek is the meaning of the universe since I was just a little kid. I have been a Trekkie nerd since elementary school, but it wasn't till Deep Space Nine, actually, that it became my life for a few years in middle school.
Amazing.
Okay, do you remember those posters in the 90s that would go, everything I need to know in life I learned from ... Everything I need to know in life I learned from Star Trek. As a young, impressionable 12-year-old.
Preteen. Cute.
It's that age where you're starting to form your own worldview, get a sense of what you think is important and how to understand the world. And this show about humans trying to do just that was there for me.
Wait, can you paint me a little picture of preteen Cole just for the
Preteen
listeners?
Cole was a cutie. He was a little chubster.
Oh.
He didn't have loads of friends, so he spent his time staring at maps of the world and staring at the night sky.
Oh.
I grew up in Colorado. We would sit around the campfire, and my favorite thing to do was, truthfully, stare up at the stars. And I was an imaginative sort. I enjoyed creative writing and things, and I would look at a star, and I would imagine an alien race that is populating that solar system. And I would just think what's going on in that completely different corner of the galaxy. I mean, I have so much to say about what Star Trek told this confused, curious little 12-year-old who wanted to seize the universe's full potential, but also wanted to make sense of things and wanted to do things right. And I think a good Star Trek hero wants to experience the universe, but in a way that, that you don't see heroes living with their values on their sleeve in most shows and movies. And it meant a lot to me that the conflict each week wasn't, are we using the right sort of gun on these aliens? But it was, are we doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Right?
The stakes are low, but are they?
The stakes are sometimes incredibly low. But that doesn't mean
for your humanity.
Our officers aren't wringing their hands because we got to do the right thing about the microbes' ascensions.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing because preteen Lily was just like wearing sparkly crop tops and looking for the next Shania Twain single. Feel like it was a very elevated young person. I was like, what am I going to wear to the next blue light disco?
But it sounds like a lot more fun than my preteens. And when did you discover Star Trek then?
So I was pretty late to the party. I think I was about 24 and I was working a ski season in Whistler back when I was pretending that I could do that kind of thing. And like I didn't have a terrible immune system and the cold just like literally makes me so sad. So yeah, I got sick a whole bunch of times in Whistler. And one of the times I was like convalescing on the couch and decided to give Star Trek Next Gen a crack. I'd heard some things about it. I'd had a similar experience with Star Wars when I was about 19, watched that for the first time. Thought that was pretty good. Got a bit obsessed with it. So yeah, late to the party. But yeah, I was basically just in a fever with various infections, like a sinus infection and a throat infection, ear infection. And I just put on Star Trek Next Gen and then like kind of fell asleep in a fever for the whole first season, which I realize now really benefited me because that is rough.
It's the right way to watch Star Trek Next Generation
Shit.
season 1.
Oh man, that
You
is
did
rough.
it right.
But yeah, I sort of came to around season 2 and I was hooked. I loved it. I think for a lot of the reasons that you expressed.
Well, there's also something comforting about Star Trek that I want to get into also in the course of this podcast. It's the chicken noodle soup for the little nerd soul.
Yeah.
And it's what I turn on. I go through periods in life where I need Star Trek more than other times.
Agreed.
And after the 2016 election, I just needed weeks of Star Trek. Things are a little rough, but don't worry. Sometime in the future.
And at some point in the future, this is what it'll be.
Right. In a post-capitalist society. How great does that sound?
Yeah, sounds wonderful. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It's sort of the weekly format, the low stakes, the sort of ponderous philosophical questions. Yeah, I think actually though a lot of this applies more to Next Generation and Voyager for me. So yeah, I watched Next Gen and then eventually I watched Voyager, and it actually took a bit of convincing from Cole.
Whew, it took years of work.
Yeah.
What turned you off about Deep Space Nine?
Look, I'm not gonna lie, I did fall asleep a bunch of times in Emissary part 1 and 2.
What?
Like, yes,
That's
I tried.
incredible.
I know. Can you believe it?
And look at you now.
I know.
How far you've come.
I know. The star of a podcast. About to get signed.
I'm so proud.
I know.
Deep Space Nine is my one Star Trek love, but I'm so glad I got you on board with it because, as I'm going to talk about a bit in this first episode, I think it dares to ask questions that the more comforting Star Treks are too afraid to ask. Questions that keep surprising even the most committed Star Trek viewer who's ready to question the human existence and our purpose and our ethics. But at the same time, it's just amazing storytelling.
It's great.
And I actually got maybe obsessed right around the end of season 5, beginning of season 6. And this little 13-year-old was like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to television. And it also set me on a course of just storytelling in general, because I think Deep Space Nine tells stories, amazing stories, that other Star Trek series have failed to do. Star Trek shows can make you think, but Deep Space Nine tells incredible stories. And it's made me obsessed with what makes a good story. There's things that even 30 years on, they do really well.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I use it as a comfort watch and a sleep aid.
Oh, yes, a classic Lily Cole Deep Space Nine marathon. Usually involves Lily falling asleep 30 minutes through. So I'm impressed that you were even able to get through a whole episode and put some thoughts together.
Do you
Did
know
you
what?
make it all the way through Emissary?
Look, it's pretty dense. So
It is dense.
It's dense and it's ambitious.
Well, let's get into it. Emissary Parts 1 and 2. Happy 30th anniversary to this episode.
No.
This episode aired 30 years ago this year.
God, happy birthday. Cheers.
Happy birthday, Emissary. And it had a really hard job to do. And what was amazing to me is that it did that job even better than I realized. And that job was, firstly, it had to prove that the world needed another Star Trek. The Next Generation was still going, and it was a smash. And so why do we need another show? And it actually got me thinking, this was 1993, and the world had changed pretty dramatically in just a few years. OG Star Trek back in the 60s was at the height of the space race, height of the Cold War, and it's all about, we can all come together and explore the stars. And the world that Deep Space Nine showed up in was ready for a different Star Trek, and it delivers in this episode. And then the second thing it had to prove is that you can still be Star Trek on a space station. So this was the third Star Trek show ever, and the first two are the Enterprise, flying around, exploring strange new worlds, seeking out new civilizations, and then suddenly there's going to be a new Star Trek show about sitting on a space station.
Yeah.
Or just a space hotel,
Yeah.
as Gene Roddenberry actually allegedly called it at one point. And I've got some interesting things to say about that. But so this episode not only says, yes, we need a new, different Star Trek, but it needs to be on a space station to continue pushing Star Trek in new directions. And what amazed me is that Emissary does that in some ways that I hadn't realized.
Amazing. I mean, my sister, she won't watch it because she finds it too claustrophobic and complex.
Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. So if I am watching it as a comfort watch, she makes me switch over to Voyager where literally nothing happens. But yeah, I think you're right. It does have a totally different feel. Yeah, it's giving the world something different.
A lot of writers who had been writing for Deep Space Nine tried to write for Voyager as well and had to leave in a frustration because they wanted to tell these more intricate stories. And they were told, sorry, Voyager is an episodic show. Yeah. Tell a cute little story in 40 minutes. And they said, I'm going to go back to Deep Space Nine because that's where the real storytelling is.
No, tell a boring story about Tom Paris.
The most boring ones are about Tom Paris.
Oh, he's the worst. All right, so should we dive in?
Let's do it. The Emissary.
Emissary, parts 1 and 2.
January 1993. Let's go back.
Yeah, so I've got a little intro here.
Please.
Emissary Parts 1 and 2, in which we meet our main players, see what the future holds for civilian fashions. Spoiler, it's a lot of onesies.
So many onesies and tunics.
Get an incredible amount of exposition about Bajoran social, political, and religious context, and find out about Benjamin Sisko's destiny.
Oof.
O'Brien rolls up his sleeves. Kira proves that she is a strong 90s brand feminist. Dax is a hottie. Bashir bumbles about offending everyone. Quark reopens his bar/gambling house/hollow brothel. Sisko receives trauma counseling from wormhole aliens. And Odo stares at people off-puttingly. So like I said, this is a dense text, an ambitious 2-part first episode.
It's 2 hours, and not only do you have to set up each of these 8 characters, but this incredibly complex geopolitical situation and sci-fi on top of it. A good heaping of just classic Star Trek on top of it. Yeah. And it does it all in a way that I think is actually really impressive.
Yeah. Thanks for summing up what I just said. So, should we roll up our proverbial sleeves?
Please.
Great.
Take another sip of wine. Action.
All right. Open on a Star Wars-style crawl exposition.
It's a Star Wars ripoff.
Explaining the events when Captain Jean-Luc Picard was taken by the Borg and surgically altered to become Locutus. He leads an assault on Starfleet at Wolf 359, and I think this is season 3 of STNG. Is that right?
The end of season 3.
So what's happening is Sisko is in a command role on board a ship being attacked by the Borg, and there's lots of pew-pew.
Lots of pew-pew.
Yeah. You get a classic Star Trek bridge explosion with bodies just like flinging everywhere.
My mom always says, why weren't they wearing seatbelts?
But she's right. They're just like falling all over the consoles. Shit's going crazy. Sparky's, and the warp core is damaged. And in this scene, we're introduced to Benjamin Sisko's perfect diction, his son Jaco, and the body of his dead wife Jennifer.
Oof.
Right.
It's a lot, hey? Yeah.
Oh, she dead.
Yeah. I mean, so we are suddenly thrown into this horrific attack. The Borg, of course, are this relentlessly trying to pursue assimilating perfection and assimilation. Sort of like a big Pac-Man just coming along, chewing up everything they can.
Yeah.
How great is it that the Borg are Star Trek's favorite nemesis? Maybe overused on other shows. They were the villain for every single season of the recent Star Trek Picard. So I think it's amazing that this is the only time they're even mentioned on Deep Space Nine. That being said, I think it's perfect to just have this reference to one of the most iconic moments of Next Generation. But also, I think putting the Borg here at the beginning is also really important in terms of what the Borg represent and how they are this antithesis to humanity. And I think what they symbolize for Star Trek actually comes back in some interesting ways for the rest of the episode.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'm excited to hear about it. But what I really want to talk about is Benjamin Sisko's intonation in this scene.
You don't like it?
It's always surprising, and you never know what's going to come. And I will do an impression.
Oh, I'm ready.
All right. So say like you're trying to help your wife, the body of your wife, who's like underneath all this rubble, and there's like a blue ensign, and you're like, "Hey, blue ensign."
He's a Boolean. Go on.
Oh, sorry. That's going to be a theme. And if you were like, "Help me," how would you say that? Would it be, "Help me"?
Help me! Yes, I know the line.
So great.
Look, Sisko's just joining the pantheon of great Star Trek captains who speak very vehemently.
Yeah.
He's trained in the school of Kirk.
All right.
Spock, fire, the phasers.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I like the Shakespearean tones of Picard. I'm a Picard lover. I'm sorry. He's grown on me. I won't lie. He's grown on me. But look, this is great. So Jennifer's dead. His wife is dead. He's managed to get Jake out of there. They made it to the escape pod. And Sisko watches from the window of the pod as his ship explodes. A defeated man.
A broken man.
Yeah. And then it's a cut to Stardate 463791, 3 years later. And we get a lovely wooden scene between Sisko and his son Jake on the dock of a lake doing some fishing. Sisko is apparently breaking the news to Jake that they're moving to a space station near Bajor. Sisko's comms badge lets him know that they will be docking at Deep Space Nine. And we get the title of the show. I mean, look, I've skipped over this wooden interaction between the two.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I will just say Wesley Crusher.
Great.
This kid on The Next Generation was famously not a hit with fans. It got to the point where even his mother got sick of him and said, "Shut up, Wesley."
Yeah.
And yet, right after the failure of a child character, they have another child on the main cast. And I will just say it's one decision that I'm not totally sure was the right one.
Oh, Jaco.
But, you know...
Look, we do get his amazing, the first of his amazing futury high-waisted onesies.
The kid's got some great fashion, and it only gets better over the course of the show,
better.
right? Yeah. Like so many things about Deep Space Nine, and Jake's tunics just get better and better.
So good. So they exit the holodeck, and we see through the window the first view of Deep Space Nine. What do we think about the design of Deep Space Nine?
I love it.
Yeah.
The design of the station, I will say, one of so many really bold decisions that I think pay off. Like, the creators of the show knew they couldn't just do another cool Federation spaceship zooming through space, and they said, we got to make this different. And you have this claw space station. Yeah. An alien space station that's been abandoned by its predecessors, but we'll get into that. I love the design. What do you think?
Yeah. Bold, I think, is the right word. It's like, it's kind of spidery, isn't it?
Definitely spidery.
Spidery, claw-like. A little bit like a fidget spinner.
I mean, it's meant to evoke this sort of alien, unsettling, eerie place, and that is where we're going to live.
Becomes home.
Yeah, we're going to live with these characters for 7 years, and even that, just settling into the discomfort almost, is what Deep Space Nine is about. Now, the opening credits.
Go on.
This is probably the only time they need discussing on this podcast.
Yes.
But if the goal was to show that space can be cold and empty and quiet, then I think they nailed it.
Yeah, but I think you're right. It is about settling into the discomfort of DS9.
Yeah.
Like, Next Gen is like just light and bright and
motion. This ship is zooming through space.
Yeah.
It's got places to go, and this station is just sitting here.
It's here. We're still looking at it from 30 different viewpoints.
And again, a lot of viewers, when they heard Star Trek was going to be on a space station, they were understandably concerned. They're like, do we want to just sit around? And it's kind of amazing that the opening credits say, you know what? Yes, you do.
You do.
And you're going to be grateful.
You do.
And darned if they weren't right.
Yeah.
I also love this score for what it's worth. I think it's the most beautiful opening score.
Triumphant Horns, I think I wrote. All right, so now we're on Commander Benjamin Sisko's first station log, and he gives us some exposition about the provisional Bajoran government establishing a presence near Bajor following the withdrawal of Cardassian occupational forces.
And he arrives on the promenade, and it's just in tatters and ruins. And I was actually reading that the episode was written by the creators Rick Berman and Michael Piller, and they actually had a big fight about this. And Michael Piller insisted he needs to arrive to a broken station. Deep Space Nine needs to start in ruins because this is a show about rebuilding. And Rick Berman is like, no, I mean, the new setting of this show needs to be clean and full of energy and sleek. And he's like, that's not the show I want to tell. So
perhaps like Sisko himself.
Perhaps.
So next we're introduced to the fact that Miles O'Brien from Star Trek Next Gen is one of Sisko's officers. I think he's the head engineer. What is it? What's his title?
Operations.
Oh,
Chief of Operations.
Apologies. And Miles already has his sleeves rolled up, so you know shit's about to get done.
The guy gets to work, and he's already struggling with some ODN conduits. And I tell you, when you've had a bad day with some ODN conduits, the poor guy, he suffers.
Oh, man. We've also got a creepo old Bajoran religious dude with a skull cap, and he appears and tells Sisko that the prophets await you. But Sisko rebuffs him with another time, perhaps.
Because he's a Starfleet officer, and Starfleet, as we know from 2 shows, do not mess with religion. Religion is old-fashioned and outdated and traditional, and we are men of science.
It's like currency. Ew.
Yeah, and Sisko just says, don't you know you're on a Star Trek show? We don't talk about religion here.
Get away from me.
And old man
Stealth that man.
just nods knowingly and skulks off.
Yeah. Miles takes the opportunity to complain about his wife Keiko, who wasn't happy with her quarters.
One of many running themes in this complex show.
Poor Miles. I mean, maybe he thought things were going to be different with life off the Enterprise, but it's looking the same.
It is not a lot of room for characterization in the opening, but I love that his sleeves are rolled up. He is an enlisted officer. So all the other Starfleet officers went through Starfleet Academy and learned command and science and geopolitics. And O'Brien needed a job, so he got hired to fix things on starships.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually sort of cool that he adds just that flavor of the maintenance guy to this show. It rounds out in an interesting way.
Yeah. I mean, he was just like running the transporters on the Enterprise.
I mean, the poor guy, he finally escaped Transporter Room 2, you know?
Yeah. He did love it, though.
He was there a lot.
Oh, he loved it. So then after this, Miles tells Sisko that Picard wants to see him on board the Enterprise, and Sisko is not pleased with this news. Is there a beef?
But who doesn't like Picard?
Right?
Picard's
What
my
could be the
hero.
possible reason?
What?
And then Sisko does some pretty strange parenting with Jake, and he does one of my favorite things in this episode, which is like a weird little come hither hand gesture.
You mean an incredibly acted hand gesture?
Yeah,
Go on.
Perfect. And it made me think, do some of their scenes kind of feel like Sisko is flirting with Jake? I'm going to say that a lot. I often think people are flirting with someone. But just the way he is with him, it's sort of off-putting.
Well, and so maybe I'll mention Avery Brooks, the actor, who never wanted to work in science fiction. I don't think he'd ever dreamed of being a Star Trek captain. But when the role was offered to him and he saw that it was a single black father, he thought, this is an incredible story that you don't see on TV. And he wanted to be a black father with a son who he cares deeply about and looks out for, because that is something you didn't see a lot of on American television in the 90s. And so when you see Avery Brooks as Sisko put in that love and affection with his son, even if maybe it doesn't always read right, because Sisko's acting choices are, they're choices.
Wow.
It's, again, something that is revolutionary in 1993.
Okay, great. I'm glad you're here to tell me, because that has put me in my place.
How dare you criticize the relationship between Sisko and Jake? Go on.
Yeah, that is a beautiful bond, and all their scenes are acted perfectly, and we love every one of
better.
them. Sure, sorry. Yucks. Okay, so cut to the command center. So we see that for the first time. It's got the Cardassian architecture. The temperature is set to 32 degrees Celsius, which sounds amazing.
Cardassians like it hot.
Yeah, and O'Brien's sort of wondering why it's designed this way, and Sisko points out that all eyes have to lead up to the prefect, the person in command.
Yeah, so these Starfleet officers have taken over this abandoned station. That even the architecture of the station is based on an ideology that is the opposite of Starfleet in so many ways. It's about hierarchy, and it's about control. And you see these humans put in a fish out of water environment. And I think even the set design is really interesting in that respect.
It's not just Keiko who's upset with this. It's everybody.
You can't blame Keiko for living in that spider claw
But they
palace.
will try to blame Keiko for everything.
Oh, who suffers more, Miles or Keiko? An ongoing question.
Oh, God. Both equally. So then Miles warns Sisko about the spicy nature of Bajoran women before meeting Major Kira.
Can we talk about that line? Because O'Brien says, well, Sisko is on the way to meet his first officer, this Bajoran woman, Major Kira. Have you served with any Bajoran women before? And then he chuckles knowingly. Now, I think when this line was written in 1993 by a white guy, it was probably meant to be characterization for Major Kira. Like, she's going to be a firecracker.
Yeah.
But I actually love the line because it tells you so much about O'Brien.
Yeah. I mean, he's a dirty, great misogynist. He's like, my wife's always nagging. And then here's a lady who is in command.
And he, again, this guy did not go into Starfleet to explore the stars. He was a maintenance worker who wanted a job. And he's actually been to war. He's served in war against the Cardassians and has some scars, mental and physical, to prove it. And I think he's one of many actually really interesting human characters put on Deep Space Nine to tell an interesting story. And more for that now. But I love that O'Brien said that, even if it wasn't even intended. But go on.
Yeah. I mean, he is kind of cagey about his misogyny, isn't he?
Yeah.
He doesn't come right out and say it. It's just kind of there. So then we have the first scene between some of the best overactors of all time.
Oh, and I will defend Nana Visitor.
But not Sisko.
I will defend both of them.
Yeah.
Maybe because as a 12-year-old, I actually thought, I remember thinking that Nana Visitor deserved an Emmy for this.
Oh.
But also, okay, overacting. What, because she's angry? Is that why you're mad at her? Because she's angry?
She just needs to calm down.
Okay, because she just spent her whole life fighting in the resistance to get rid of occupiers, and look what just happened. She got some more occupiers in the station.
No. Look, I understand the motivations of the character. I do think she's an overactor. They're both trying to out-enunciate each other.
It's like they've never made the transition from stage to screen comfortably.
Agreed. Yeah.
It's like someone told them that Star Trek is Shakespeare, which you hear a lot from actors, like the technobabble, just think of it as beautiful Shakespeare. But it's technobabble in front of a camera. Yeah. And I think neither of these two actors really got that memo. But I love this scene.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very 90s view of feminism, isn't it? Like, that she's the strong female character, and she sort of has to explain to people that she's a gritty truth teller. Yes. She wants to take action, and most people don't like her for it.
She does. In fact, there's multiple times in this episode where she has to tell people that she's angry.
Yeah.
And it is a shame that you can't just let a powerful actor do that. Now, you do know who this character was originally supposed to be, right?
I think you told me, but for our listeners.
So, The first officer on Deep Space Nine was originally intended to be Ro Laren, who was a Bajoran woman introduced on The Next Generation, played by Michelle Forbes, who is a fantastic actress.
Yeah, she's sick.
And Ensign Ro just commands this quiet presence and gravitas, and it would have been fantastic for her to be on the show, but unfortunately she didn't want to do a series, and so she declined. And they begged her, but she declined. But I will say, I think Ensign Ro and Sisko actually have similar energy. They're quiet but intense people. Having the two of them, Sisko and Ro, being like both quietly seething, but you get this balance here where they're both hella intense people, but one of them's shouting when the other is emphatically emphasizing.
Yeah.
And maybe it works out for the best.
Look, the 12-year-old Cole inside of you will defend this until your dying day.
I love you, Nana.
So in this scene, Kira explains that she fought for Bajoran independence and she disagrees with the colonial attitude of the Federation helping the Bajorans right after they'd finally gotten rid of Cardassian occupation. And like, she has a point. We can delve into Federation paternalism, but maybe we don't have enough time.
I'm a delve.
We're ready.
But I do love that. I think Sisko says the Federation is only here to help.
Yeah.
And Kira says the Cardassians said the same thing 60 years ago.
Totally, yeah. But Sisko tells her he requested a Bajoran national as his number one and that they will have to learn to compromise. And he seems very amused by the interaction. He's like, Brian was right. She's spicy.
If an apologist for any... Sisko doesn't want to be here. And as he's going to say soon, dude, I'm raising a son. I don't want to be here. I don't think he's even taking this post seriously yet.
He's kind of checked out.
And if he's just sort of rolling his eyes at Kira, I think he hasn't even taken her or Bejo seriously yet.
Yeah. All right. I hear you. So this discussion is interrupted by a comm on screen from Odo, who is the station's curmudgeonly chief of security. Or at least it's Odo's death mask from season 1.
The actor was cast mere days before shooting began.
No.
Renee, I'm going to botch his French
I always
name.
want to say aubergine.
Yeah, okay. Renee Aubergine. Famous for roles such as the French chef on The Little Mermaid, for example, and many other. I mean, the guy's a veteran, but he was cast days before, and so they didn't have time to screen test his mask, which is why he looks rough.
That's why it's a death mask.
And it gets progressively better, but it's a death mask. And the poor guy, that's not a shapeshifter mask, that's a death mask. But see, I have reasons for everything. Go on.
Great, amazing. This is why we're a good team. He's alerting Kira to a threat. And there is some thieving afoot. Yeah, and then it cuts to a scene where Odo is stopping a Buffy-looking demon.
The same thought.
And a young Ferengi who is Nog, who by the final season is a beloved treasure who I would die for. But right now
ne'er-do-well Nog who never amounts to more than thieving. That one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But right now he's just a little Ferengi guy doing some crimes. And they're stealing something. And then we get some A-grade Alex Mack CGI, goo technology.
Well, we needed a reason to learn that Odo's a shapeshifter.
He's a shapeshifter.
So we had to dodge that crazy mace.
Yeah, so Buffy guy throws something in his head and then Alex Mack.
But he shapeshifts.
Yeah. And on a side note, the security outfit for the station is a lovely vomit brown, vomit beige onesie.
Yeah, fashion choices. So Kira's a redhead, and so they put her in a red tunic. And Odo's
is a corpse.
Weird corpse was sort of golden brown, like fake hair on top, wears gold. And I did always think it was an absurd decision that...
Are we calling it gold? I mean, it's a gross beige.
Let's go back to gross beige.
Yeah.
But why both of these characters had to be like monochromatic effectively was strange. But again, apologist Cole, isn't it cool? Isn't it cool that the first officer and another officer on the senior staff aren't even in Starfleet?
Amazing,
Yeah.
admittedly.
Like, this show is not...
Fashion choices aside.
You think you've seen Star Trek, a bunch of Starfleet officers going around saving the universe. No, how about a show where some of the characters in charge aren't even Starfleet and don't even like Starfleet?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's great. We love to see it. So in this scene, introduced Odo, Nog, and also Quark.
Yeah, there's as a Ferengi main character. All they did on Next Generation was start out menacing with whips and then very quickly become a sort of bizarre anti-Semitic troll archetype.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna learn to love the Ferengi on Deep Space Nine.
I guess.
Maybe that's the goal.
Well, there's certainly enough episodes about them.
I don't know if we're gonna recap every episode of this series.
Quark, yeah, he's an interesting guy. Yeah, so Quark explains to Sisko that Nog is in fact his nephew, and then they do some classic Ferengi snarling hissing, which I mean it doesn't come up that often. I think it's a throwback to Next Gen.
When they were supposed to be villainous on Next Gen, but
when
were
they're
just
crouching
laughable.
and snarling,
Right.
Yeah, and
But
were
they
not
do.
scary.
They're wonderfully alien. I'll say that much.
Yeah, it's not just like a little nose ridge or forehead bump.
They don't have a forehead bump.
Yeah.
Yes.
They've got many bumps.
So many lobes.
Anyway, so Sisko sends Nog to the bridge with the wily notion that he can negotiate something from Quark in return. So maybe Sisko is starting to get invested?
He's seeing where his natural command skills can be useful.
Player's got to play.
Yep.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Miles is on Sisko's case about catching up with Picard, and Sisko is all, fine, I'll do it, but I don't want to.
What has he got against Picard? Picard's the man.
I don't know. Are we going to find out?
Let's find out. Oh, but very quickly in this scene.
Oh, yes.
Sisko fires a phaser to end this fight, and Odo's livid. And he says, absolutely no guns on the promenade.
Yeah.
Which I love Odo putting this human in his place, but I also just love... It's just another way that a human has shown up at this alien environment, doing what he's used to doing, firing a gun to make things better, and being told, what the heck do you think you're doing?
Yeah.
That's not how we do things.
That's not how we do things. I turn into goo, and everyone runs away.
Odo knows what's up. All right, go on. Excuse me.
All right.
So then Picard summons him.
Yeah. And then we cut to the conference room on the Enterprise. The mise en scene. Yeah.
Tell me about the mise
Yeah.
en scene.
It's light and bright and pastel.
It's a different show.
Totally different compared to the gritty, dark DS9.
These comfy pink armchairs. I
Yeah.
want to hang out on this show. Is this a show I can watch?
Yes, you can. 7 seasons?
Great.
7 seasons, yeah. Basically, they meet and greet, and Sisko he's tense. And he kind of drops the bomb that he met Picard when Picard was Locutus. And Picard doesn't really acknowledge this.
Patrick Stewart's face when Picard's like, ugh, you're another one of those people? I think that's actually what goes through his mind.
Really?
Because Sisko's like, oh yeah, no, I met you and you were Locutus.
No, I think he's taken aback.
I think he's annoyed AF.
Whoa!
I think Picard
You are
has
not
already...
generous with Picard.
Oh, no, I'm very generous. I think he has every right to be annoyed. Tell me, I think Sisko's completely out of line in this scene.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right.
Because if and the guy got assimilated against his will, and now people are blaming him for this horrible attack, and Picard was one of the victims. Even 20, 30 years later, Picard season 3 and Captain Shaw is the exact same energy, like, oh, Locutus. I mean, this haunts Picard for the rest of his life, completely.
I suppose he doesn't acknowledge it
undeservedly.
though, and I think that that yes, he's a victim as well, but clearly this is a victim in front of him.
You know, I will say something I'd wanted to mention before.
The white teapot is fancy.
Well, of course, Picard is making a delicious tea. But just very quickly about how Picard was assimilated by the Borg, becomes Locutus, and then leads the Borg's attack. And Locutus is then this identity that haunts Picard for the rest of his career. Now, Locutus is kind of the emissary for the Borg. Whoa. This is a show called Emissary, in which Sisko earns a title that he never asked for and haunts him the rest of his career, no matter how he tries to shake it, and also becomes part of his identity. And I think it's really interesting that you have these two Starfleet captains who get hamstrung with these liaison roles.
Look, I love Picard in this scene. I feel like he is acting and reacting.
Oh, I think it's beautiful. I think he's disgusted by Sisko's unprofessionalism.
Do you think that's what's happening?
Yeah.
No. See, I feel like it's still too fresh for Picard, and he's feeling the guilt. He's feeling the responsibility. I don't think it's discussed.
Yeah, maybe 30 years later, I want Picard to give himself a break.
No.
But okay.
No.
Yeah, that might be happening.
Yeah.
But okay, I think the scene is also really, really interesting for what they actually discuss.
Yes, correct. Yes. Mm-hmm. So their discussion is about the Bajoran relief effort, and Bajor has been left depleted of all resources, so the Federation has stepped in.
Well, and he also says, you know, Picard, he says, I've gotten to know the Bajorans and I deeply care about them. And it is your job to bring them into the Federation. Essentially, collect them for the Federation. And even there's a bit of a paternalism there, like, but the Bajorans are beautiful people. And he's saying...
We love them, they're so cute.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's not saying, get to understand the Bajorans, build strong relationships with them. He says, do everything short of violating the Prime Directive to bring Bajor into the Federation, to assimilate Bajor. And that is the opening mission of our character on the show.
Well, and Sisko's response is that you should probably find someone else for the job.
Yeah, he says, I never wanted this. I have to raise a kid on this alien space station.
Alone because of you, Logitas.
I'm not inspired by this job. Yeah. I don't want to be here. I'm not an administrator. And Picard says, do your job until I find someone else.
Yeah. Okay, then we cut to the security office, and it's the negotiation between Quark and Sisko. Not the first of many. Do they interact much in the series?
Very rarely.
Yeah. So basically, Sisko wants Quark to stay on board DS9 to keep the civilian life afloat as a community leader, basically as a business owner, and to sort of like create commerce.
You actually just pointed out, this is the first time you see Sisko actually starting to engage and see his value and make some good decisions. And we know, if you've seen the whole series, very often Sisko makes some very ethically dubious choices, and they get more and more questionable to the point that a lot of Trekkies find it very controversial. But I was blown away that it's actually right here in this episode. He's compelling this dude to encourage commerce on the station by keeping his nephew in jail.
Yeah.
He's using this little kid as a bargaining chip.
Yeah.
So it was all there, dudes. It was right there. Sisko's doing it from day one.
Yeah.
This is what gets this guy going.
Look, he's speaking Ferengi language, so maybe he's had dealings with them and he knows that there has to be the chips on the table.
It's
he
good.
has to negotiate.
It works. Is it morally perfect? Not entirely, but maybe that is what makes Sisko one of the most compelling leaders of a Star Trek show.
I think it sort of sets up the way things have to operate on DS9.
You're on an alien station, you got to play by different rules.
Sometimes by the aliens' rules, like the Ferengi. And just a quick nod to the fact that both Quark and Odo, as we previously discussed, are like unrecognizable in this scene. The design totally changes. Whatever mouth gear happens becomes way better.
You know what it is? Fun fact.
Great.
The actor Armin Shimmerman, who we all know and love as the principal on Buffy, among other things, he hadn't got his nose fitted yet. And so he's actually wearing Rom, his brother's nose.
Oh my God.
In this first episode. So if you've seen that nose elsewhere, that's his brother Rom's nose. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, Kira is proving that she's a hands-on gal by getting her hands dirty. She's cleaning up debris and she's taken off her jacket and she's in her little fancy white tank top undershirt.
I mean, great fashion. We get to see that little woven undershirt time and time again because it means Kira is doing the hard work when she's in her white...
She's like, is a man going to do this? Yes, I'll just do it.
Better take off my overshirt.
Yeah. There's a few other episodes
Sisko says, I will do it. And they're both picking up this cardboard debris.
Picking up things and throwing them.
Throwing it elsewhere. Good work, you two. It's the hard work of running a space station.
I often think there's sexual tension in a scene in DS9.
Between these two?
Yeah, I mean, anyone.
Oh, it's because Star Trek is so neutered. They all want to have sex, and the series won't let them.
Yeah.
I would love to discuss why Star Trek is so sexless. I'm sure that'll come up on this podcast at some point.
So in this scene, Kira predicts civil war. She thinks that the Bajorans are too divided, and that the only person that can possibly bring them together is Kai Opaka.
Who? Says Sisko.
Who? She's the spiritual leader. We love Kai Opaka.
Come on, Nana Visitor, the actress, when she's like, Sisko, you don't even know who the Kai is?
Have you done zero
off.
research, much
Right.
like me for this podcast?
This schmuck comes in, settling in, and he doesn't even know anything about my people. These are just more occupiers.
Yeah, agreed. And then the creepo Bajoran guy pops his head in and says it's time
It
to
is
Sisko.
time.
And he whisks him off. And then we cut to a shot of Bajor in ruins.
In ruins. It's nice because you see this shot of Bajor a lot, but they've cleaned themselves up. And it was a nice touch that I hadn't noticed before, all these landmarks are in ruins.
And Sisko walks through a spa-like room. It is sort of quite broken down. There's one guy in the corner moving some bricks, so he's getting some things done.
It's the thing to do in this episode.
It's got a fancy little pool in the middle. And then Kai Opaka enters, looking like every capable deli lady you've ever seen. Maybe that's why I love her. I'm like, oh God, she's so friendly. Is she gonna give me a slice of salami?
Opaka's great, and
Yeah,
I think the actress brings it. The Bajoran religion, the fact that it even exists in this show is interesting, but the fact that they've so clearly drawn elements from human religions to make this made-up religion. You've got the Kai, who's basically the Pope, and then she feels Sisko's Pa, which is chi, his life force.
Yeah, but it's in the ear. So she's doing some like pretty intense ear touching right now.
Yeah, it's a little too intimate for Sisko.
He's kind of into it though. Yeah. There's a bit of an ear fetish in this series.
Oh,
the Ferengi,
not just the Ferengi.
and the Pa of it
You're
all.
so right.
Opaka explains that the Pa is life force, and it's replenished by the prophets. And she checks his ear with some painful squeezing and tells him, "Ironic, one who does not wish to be among us is to be the emissary."
Well, that's the title of this episode.
Dun, dun, dun. And then she reveals that the fancy pool is a secret staircase, and Sisko is impressed.
Sisko makes a little impressed face, like, okay, Bajorans,
So,
maybe you're not so
like, it's a
pathetic
little
after
nod.
all.
She takes him underground, and from a cute little vanity shows Sisko the first orb, the tear of the prophets.
Not unlike almost like an Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah. It's kind of a beautiful scene.
I think a lot of this.
The lighting is great.
You're right.
Moody.
And it is interesting because the writers decided after scenes like this that actually feel really nice, we don't want Deep Space Nine to have nice things. And they very quickly throw a whole wrench into Bajoran religion and the Kai, because Sisko shouldn't have it nice hanging out with this cute deli lady.
No. It's too smooth. Yeah. So he goes to look at the orb and is immediately transported into...
Whoa. A very fashionable tunic.
It's gorgeous.
They love the four-tone tunics.
Block. Like high contrast, block colours. So yeah, he's on the beach and he's holding some drinks and he's got burnt feet, and this is when he meets his wife Jennifer for the first time. Oh, and she's a babe.
She is a babe.
Yeah.
I like Jennifer, and she's rightfully annoyed that this weirdo just kicked sand on her.
Yeah. She's annoyed, but even in this like sort of strange memory interaction where he's like realizing it's the first time they've met, she's into him.
I mean, have you heard how emphatically he speaks?
So emphatically.
Okay, but come on, this is the scene that I think the guy is a brilliant actor when he realizes that he gets to relive the moment he first met his wife, and he lets out that noise.
Ow!
Patrick Stewart would never do that.
He would never.
Thank you,
You're
Avery
right.
Brooks. You're hired.
No, you're right. This is a beautiful scene, and he sort of delves straight back into wooing her, but he doesn't want to ruin it.
He doesn't want to ask why, what's going on. He just knows how precious it is to spend time with.
And he's like, I've got game. I'm going to do this.
He does have game. He's got lemonade.
Oh, Jennifer's hot.
I mean, that bikini could pass in 2023.
Yeah. The 90s fashions have come around again. So there's two things I'd like to mention.
Okay.
When he tells her that your mother is going to adore me.
I love that line.
Cute.
Yeah.
And then also, my father was
Oh, excuse me. I did have something else to mention.
Yes.
Look at that other four-tone tunic behind
yes,
us.
I was going to talk about this. Yes. The couple behind, beautiful onesie. Yes, this goes in a two-piece. Yeah. No, the other thing I wanted to say was my father was a gourmet chef, which is hilarious.
Why?
Well, I'm a chef, and you don't actually. No one says that.
You
That's
don't
not
say you're a
thing.
gourmet
No,
chef.
you don't. Maybe you did in the 90s.
But when I
I
brag,
was born in 89, so
when I brag about you, I say that you're a
She's
gourmet
a-
chef.
my friend Lily is a gourmet chef.
I do. Is that bad? I would love some more gourmet wine, please.
Yeah. Let me get you.
Crazy thing. There's so many really impressive things about this episode, but you have a job of setting up 8 new characters and a very complex situation. But this episode spends a lot of time in Sisko's head.
Yeah.
And I'm just so glad it lets us sit there with him.
Yeah, it's the Sisko show. So sparkly lights cut back to the underground Bajor, and Opaka is like looking knowingly at Sisko, like she's just sliced a lot of prosciutto. She's feeling good about it. And she tells him that 9 orbs have appeared over the past 10,000 years, but the Cardassians have stolen all of the other ones. This is the last one the Bajorans have. And Sisko needs to find the Celestial Temple before the Cardassians do.
Now, upon a close watch of this, did the urgency of the Kai's request seem a little forced?
Oh.
Why is she suddenly saying, quick, you need to find the temple before the Cardassians do? Because the Cardassians have probably been looking for it for 60 years when they've been in Bajor.
I mean, the Kai seems to know that Sisko's the emissary, that he's arrived.
Yeah.
From what she said before about how she checks his par and is all, you don't even want it, but here you are. How ironic. So she's got some intel. She knows that he's got a destiny.
And that's where I arrived at. I thought this assignment, these stakes don't make any sense. But then I remembered just what you said. She knows he's the emissary, whatever that means. And she might know that what Bajor needs right now is an emissary.
Is this guy. Yeah. And then she tells him that this is the journey. So we're back on Deep Space Nine for some of Quark's hijinks. So Quark's is reopened. There's Darbo. There's Morn.
There's a guy playing a water fountain.
There's a sexy alien lady.
There's underboob. How often do you see underboob?
In the 90s? Rarely.
Look, I've seen 15 series of RuPaul's Drag Race, and you don't see underboob.
She's doing it.
That's
She's
fashion.
pulling it off. Yeah. Yeah, we see Morn,
Morn.
the barfly.
Well, Morn not only is the most beloved character on this series, but he symbolizes so many things, and perhaps we won't even realize what they symbolize until the last episode of this podcast.
Maybe.
Thank you, Morn.
Anyway, there he is. What happens in this scene? Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite lines of the episode.
Never trust ale from a God-fearing people.
Or a Starfleet commander who has one of your relatives in jail.
Quark. He's a deep one.
He gets it.
And he also has the best outfits. The one he's wearing looks like it's buttoned with a giant safety pin, and it's very Vivienne Westwood. And over the series, I was like, God, he wears so many good boleros.
Quark's fashion is one of the best.
It's great.
It's really thick safety pin belts, right?
It pops. Okay, and then, so quickly, we meet Jadzia Dax, the station science officer, and Dr. Julian Bashir, and they've arrived.
2 new characters.
So first impressions of the two?
Well, Jadzia Dax is maybe my favorite character on the show.
You do love hot women as a gay man.
But the character had not been formulated yet. They knew, the powers that be at Paramount knew they needed a hot woman, and so they hired this woman who'd been working in modeling, Terry Farrell. And she talks about having panic attacks her first few weeks on the job. She's in over her head with technobabble. She's a science officer on the station, and half of her lines are technobabble. But then on top of that, she's given a very, very complex character who even the writers haven't figured out yet.
Yeah.
She said that she was told that Jadzia Dax is a combination of Grace Kelly and yoga. No.
Yoda?
Oh, there's the wine kicking in.
Great.
A combination of Grace Kelly and
she clearly
Yoda.
does yoga. I can see that. She's just like very confident and very hot.
Right, but confident and hot does not an interesting character make.
No. So then Sisko says to her, because Bashir's just like awkwardly hit on her. Yeah. And then Sisko says, "Did you tell him about that slug inside of you?"
What?
Which is a hilarious way to introduce the Trill species. Although I think the Trill do come up in Next Gen. I feel like Crusher has a romance with a Trill and then finds out he's all slug inside.
So the Trill, they're a very cool species where you've got a slug inside you that retains the memories of its former hosts, and when the slug gets put in you, you have all the memories of those former hosts. So Jadzia Dax might look like a hot 28-year-old lady, but she's lived.
328.
Girl has lived.
Yeah.
And you're right. It was the species was introduced on the Next Generation. Bit of a controversial mixed bag episode, but in part because it was a ham-fisted attempt at transgender identity. Wow. It's about Crusher falling in love with a man, and by the end of the episode, she's a woman. And 1991 Beverly Crusher just says, "Nope, can't do this.
Yeah.
I cannot date this woman who used to be a man." And that's where the episode ends. And they've taken this basically a symbol of the transgender experience and made it a main character. Maybe just because it sounded cool to the writers, but it becomes a pretty cool vehicle for some very interesting storylines once they figure out how to tell the story of Dax.
Yeah. And that is for her to have hot scenes where she makes out with a variety of people.
I mean, let's just say that Jadzia Dax said yes when Beverly Crusher said no.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Okay, so Sisko and Dax knew each other when Dax was the previous host. Curzon is the other, like... the bit of information.
Sisko used to hang out with her when she was an old man.
Yeah. So then we cut to Bashir checking out his new smash-up infirmary, and he seems thrilled. And he says that he could have done anything because he's so brilliant, but he always wanted to do frontier medicine in the wilderness. And this deeply offends Kira, rightly so, and it's very classic season 1 Bashir.
I love this scene. Bashir is just a naive little schmuck, and the show wants us to know it. But here, really laying it out, is another human coming to the station who thinks he's on the wild frontier, ready to go into the wilderness and be a hero. Yeah. He basically says, "I'm here to be a hero. This is where the adventure is." Yeah. And Kira points out just what a one-sided perspective that is.
Yeah, it's great. So Sisko she's a science officer, so Sisko gets Dax onto the orb conundrum. And then he uses his cute little nickname for her, Old Man. And she calls him Benjamin, and it's a lovely relationship they have.
It is. It's a nice friendship on this show.
Yeah, I love it. And then, so there's a lot of science babble. That's not really my area.
It's not the actress's area either. Poor thing.
I empathize. And then Jadzia looks at the orb and flashes back to the joining that she had with Dax, the symbiote.
Thank goodness she looks at the orb so the audience can all see what this symbiont transferal surgery looks like.
Yeah, and it looks like she's lying there and you can see all her spots. And she's looking at an incision happening, and she's looking at old Curzon, the old man, who's about to have like old sluggy slug cut out of him because he's about to die. And then we get to see it. We get to see the sluggy slug.
Hey, Dax. Dax is the sexiest character. Look at that beautiful slug.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Curzon dies, and we see Sluggy Slug get put into Jadzia.
Just sort of like wiggle his way there. Inside. Mm-hmm.
And she's scared, but she loves it. It feels great.
We learn in, I think, a later season that she's been training for years for this moment where suddenly her brain is inundated with the memories of 8 other people.
Yeah. And look, for an actress who's never done it before and she was a model, I feel like she plays inscrutable quite well. She plays complexity.
I think she actually does great.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she's not given a lot.
No, that's it. She's given Grace Kelly meets Yoda. And even before the writers knew it, she injects a little mischievousness and wile.
Yeah. So we're back on board the Enterprise, and Miles
pink chairs.
Yeah, it's so
lots
pastel.
of nice.
It looks so comfy.
Leather. Mm-hmm.
Carpet everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And O'Brien's sort of He's maybe looking around to say goodbye to Picard because we all know their special relationship of the zero scenes that they have together.
Developed over 6 years. Yes, those two. Look, Picard's a legend, and he knows everyone on his ship.
He does know everyone, and I think he enjoys Miles's brevity.
All aboard, Captain.
Yeah, loves that. So Miles is about to depart, and Picard, he won't let that happen. He's come running to the transporter room to say goodbye. Because we all know they're best friends.
It's like in a rom-com when someone chases you to the airport.
Exactly.
Picard's like, don't go yet.
No, Miles.
And then
Miles.
he tells the other transporter chief, he just says, hey, we need a moment. And she nods. And does she just go stand in the hall? Where does she go?
I don't know. Picard tells you to do something, you do it. And he's having emotions.
Emotions. An Englishman and an Irishman in a transporter room having emotions.
Yeah. Maybe they shake hands.
Excuse me, a Frenchman.
Yeah, and then he asks for permission to disembark. And then apparently Picard knows how to work a transporter.
It's year 2 of the Academy. Yeah. I guess the scene is just to say goodbye. It's just a nice little moment to send O'Brien literally from the Next Generation to Deep Space Nine.
Look, Picard looks genuinely sad. Like maybe that was his best friend.
He's
we
trained
don't know.
in Shakespeare.
Yeah. Reacting. Back on Deep Space Nine. Oh, there goes the Enterprise.
Leaving Sisko to his own devices.
Yeah, so we're back on Deep Space Nine, and this is when we meet Gul Dukat.
We've seen some key players here. We've got Morn, now we've got Dukat.
And it's a really short scene for how much of a player he'll be.
It is the first of many, many times where Kira delivers Dukat.
Oh, Dukat. Now, this is a Cardassian who he looks like a penis. Discuss?
Looks like or acts like?
Both. Yeah, both. He's a huge penis.
This is where I learned the word megalomaniac as a 13-year-old.
Yeah, great.
And now, many years on, I understand Dukat's psychology even more. And I know that he used to be the commander of Deep Space Nine, and now he has to walk into the command room as a guest. And this is the most humiliating thing that Dukat could ever really do, right?
A Cardassian. This is like,
yeah.
It's a death.
Yeah.
But he's still managing to be super smug about it and to give some veiled threats.
And Sisko has another veiled threat. He's like, "We're right next door, and I'll make sure our dog doesn't pee on your lawn."
Yeah, so good. But yeah, so Dukat reveals that he knows Sisko met with Kaiba Parker and took an orb. So like, it's very lots of underhanded spy work, which
more stakes, more urgency.
Yeah.
Yes.
So and we'll learn more about that later. Sisko denies it. He's like, "Oh, what orb? What?" And
Sisko loves it. He loves stuff like this.
And here I've written the sexual tension is thick.
Again.
I just feel like everyone is boning or wanting to bone.
These characters just need an outlet, and the writers don't give it to them.
No. Maybe it's why it's such good watching.
Because the tension is so palpable.
It's there, yeah. So we're back with Dax. She's discovered that the Denorius belt is probably where the Celestial Temple is. With some seemingly like pretty standard calculations, so it's surprising the Cardassians haven't found it. She's like, I entered it into the computer.
Yeah, so the science officer Googles neutrino emissions.
It's great. Oh, God. Yeah. And look, I'm going to be very honest. This is not what I'm in Star Trek for. And I know that upsets a lot of people.
I'm not in it for the neutrinos either, but I'm in it for characters like Dax to kill it at things like science.
Yeah.
Because how often does a hero get to do like science? Like I'm a hero because I
Women
scienced.
in STEM.
Right? Dax and STEM. So I'm not going to complain. Again, shame on you. Shame on you.
I'm a terrible person. I'm a terrible feminist and a terrible person. So then we're back at Quarks. The Cardassians are all there. They're having a grand old time. But Kira and O'Brien are shutting it down after the Cardassians have won a huge pile of latinum. And Quark is all, you can't do this. And there's like a bit of back and forth about that. But eventually he bundles up the latinum for them in a Hessian sack.
Yes, a very sturdy Hessian sack to hold all that heavy latinum.
Yeah, nothing to see here with this here Hessian sack.
So the Ferengi bartender gave the Cardassians is Hessian sack, does that mean that the bartender was in on it?
Yeah, the
Or-
bartender's in on it.
So they've got this cool extra Ferengi dude like in cahoots with Odo.
Well, Rom couldn't do it because his nose is on someone else.
Can wear his nose in any scene where Quark shows up.
Yeah, so these hijinks play out, and turns out to be a ruse.
Subterfuge.
Odo has shapeshifted on board the Cardassian ship, and he is the Hessian sack.
So, plot stretch number 2 to show that Odo is a shapeshifter.
And he has youth.
And
in
he
this
can do
episode.
things
Yeah.
other than be cranky about guns
Yeah.
and look like death.
Yeah.
Odo is like a Marvel superhero in the Star Trek universe, which sometimes he feels a little out of place with just how utterly superpowery
Yeah.
his superpowers are.
And but he's just like not very ambitious. He just wants to be a security officer on board, like
Isn't that
an out of
interesting?
the way.
And I thought we could talk more about that. I think the next episode is actually about him.
Yeah.
But why does a superhero just hang out on a deadbeat space station in the wilderness, as Dr. Bashir says?
Yeah, I think
an
we're
interesting
gonna find
question.
out.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, he's gotten on board to like shut down their homing technology or something.
Odo gets his moment. Thanks, Odo.
Yeah, Alex Mack in the house, and then they. Oh yeah. So Sisko and
They're off to track down those neutrino emissions.
they're off to the wormhole.
Mm-hmm. The what?
What? Oh, sorry. But first, we're trying to get Odo back on board, and there's some malfunctions.
Better call O'Brien.
Better call O'Brien.
He just moved his wife and child here to fix malfunctions.
But I have nothing to say about this scene except there's a hilarious bit where the transporter isn't working and he just kicks it and then it works.
I mean,
And it's like classic O'Brien.
like we've all been there with the vending machine, haven't
Right.
we? It's like all these other characters are having these crazy, these beautiful characterization moments about their motivations, and O'Brien's moment is kicking,
it. Yeah, kick it.
kicking the bulkhead. Yep.
And Odo's back and he's safe and everything's fine.
And Odo,
Kira, yeah.
Odo has no emotions. He's
Got no emotions, but Kieran, Odo,
repressed as
there's like a
hell.
bit of a friendship there maybe.
because Odo nodded at her, which is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
most he's given anyone the whole show.
Yeah. So then Dax and Sisko
Off to the Denorius belt.
Denorius belt, and they enter a wormhole.
Okay, Lily, question.
Yes.
Who discovered the wormhole?
Whoa.
Who's like, let's lay in these coordinates because of all these neutrino emissions, and let's go and see what we can find.
Yeah,
Was it
she's the
Jadzia Dax
emissary?
who discovered the wormhole? Yes, it was. This is my biggest nit to pick with this episode.
But if we want to split hairs about it, like Sisko's in command and he delegated a job.
He told Jadzia to find the wormhole, and then Jadzia, mother effing Dax, it's Hermione all over again.
Yeah.
Harry's being anxious and emo-y, but it's his story. And then women are just over there doing science and being competent, and they're like, oh, you're welcome.
I guess she's not looking for the glory. She's just out to experience life.
Well, I give you glory,
And
Jadzia.
if you believe in hierarchy, technically he did the job because someone did it for him. And I know about that. I'm a chef.
Uh-huh. All right. All right. Well, Jadzia, I see you, and I know you don't need it because you're zen and you're not esteem sensitive because of all the lifetimes of wisdom. But they find a wormhole.
And just quickly, the design looks like a 90s bowling alley.
Inside the
They're in
wormhole.
it, and it's like, pew, pew.
Like an arcade game. Love it.
And then they wind up 70,000 light years from Bajor.
What?
Yeah.
A wormhole to the other side of the galaxy?
What? You're going to just like pick up Voyager while you're there? No, wrong side.
Wrong side.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
SARS. And then they hypothesize that this is probably how the orbs arrived in Bajor, and that this might be the first stable wormhole known to exist.
Which is pretty cool.
So what happens? They try to go back through the wormhole, but wind up somewhere, which is maybe the Celestial Temple.
It's all starting to add up.
Is it?
Everything these bajones are talking about, these
that
prophets.
Dax Googled is lining up.
Dax knew how to Google.
Hey Google, have you seen something weird?
So they go back the
So
other
they
side.
go back, and then they wind up in this spot that Sisko sees it as like a scary, stormy hellscape. But Dax's view is of like a beautiful, pristine English garden.
Isn't that interesting? So what was your take on that little moment where they get out of the runabout, Sisko sees this horrible rocky landscape, and Jadzia is in sort of paradise?
It's an interesting one. I mean, I suppose, is Sisko seeing reality or is Dax?
I guess my interpretation, besides just cool opportunity for CGI and like whoa factor, is that we know that Sisko is in some rough headspace. He lost his wife 3 years ago. He doesn't want to be in Deep Space Nine. He's a pessimist right now, and he's assuming the worst of everything. And so it's almost like if he were to land on an unknown alien planet, like he'd almost expect this. He'd be like, well, yeah, go figure.
Here we are. There's like rocky crevasses and terrible lightning storms.
Right. Whereas Jadzia, we've already talked about how she's, Grace Kelly and Yoda combined, is pretty stoked to be in this wormhole, in this paradise. Now,
That she discovered, as we established.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you will indulge me for perhaps my favorite Easter egg of the entire episode.
Great.
I would love it if the location scout of the series actually did this on purpose, but it would be insane. This park that Jadzia sees is the exact same Los Angeles park, because as we all know, Star Trek isn't about exploring the universe, it's about exploring Los Angeles parks.
Yes, correct.
It's the same park that is the location for the episode in season 3 where it's Brigadoon in space.
Okay.
And Jadzia falls in love and is so happy that she's ready to abandon her Starfleet career and the Trill world, and she is happier than she could ever conceivably be. Now, nerdiness almost over. We learn that these aliens in the wormhole have no concept of time. Time doesn't exist.
Linear, yeah.
So they already know that Jadzia's moment of pure bliss is on this planet.
Whoa.
And that's what they show her when she arrives at the wormhole.
Whoa.
And there's a 102% chance that that's a complete coincidence.
Yeah, that one scouting location for this TV show is like, what?
Well done, Location Scout. Thank you for indulging me.
So what happens next? Oh, yeah. So a floaty orb approaches them and like gives them like a little probe, and then it gets all punchy and punches Dax out. And she sort of starts to see the hellscape that Sisko is seeing. And then it sort of puts her somewhere and it swallows Sisko, who fades out to white.
Now this is, okay, what happens next is very strange to me.
Yeah, so out of the wormhole comes shooting the orb. The scanners pick it up back on Deep Space Nine, and Dax makes it back onto the space station, courtesy of the orb. It just like kind of beams her back.
And what did you make of this? I thought it was utterly absurd that suddenly they just packaged Dax into a tiny little orb and sent her back home.
I mean, look, it's a bit of a Deus Ex Machina.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm just here to defend Dax, but it makes no sense to me. And I will give the DS9 writers credit that 7 years later, in the last season of the show, they actually explain why Sisko sticks around the wormhole and a little bit more about why the prophets are so interested in Sisko, which definitely the writers had not thought about in this episode. But the showrunners who go on for the next 7 years do the work and actually close some of these loopholes, which I find very impressive.
Great. All right. I mean, look, I guess as a layman, I didn't really question it. I'm like, off you go, Dax.
Well, this is the 7th time
You're
I've
not
seen
the
this
emissary.
episode.
Jesus. So Dax is safe on board DS9, and meanwhile Sisko is flashing through memories of his life. And then we find out this is the way the celestial beings communicate, which is through his personal memories, particularly of people in his life, and interactions he's had.
And I honestly love this
It's
whole
amazing.
sequence. It's
And
really beautiful.
Like, even Jaco shines in this.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What is this?
So there are different species, and they don't understand the concept of time because they don't exist in a linear way. And Sisko has to explain the concept of time.
And it, bizarrely, even though this is the strangest thing that's happened the whole episode, this is just classic bread and butter Star Trek. Since the 60s, Star Trek is all about running into crazy, omnipotent aliens who communicate telepathically and make you see weird visions. Even almost every pilot episode of Star Trek is about running into some crazy, omnipotent being. So even though this is the strangest thing that's happened, It's like, oh yeah, this is
It's
Star
familiar
Trek.
territory.
Yeah.
It's like less gritty, social, political kind of drama.
And and interestingly, I mean, Sisko is pulled out of the nuts and bolts of convincing Quark to open a bar, getting his first officer to calm down, and he's suddenly sort of on trial, defending humanity, which is exactly what Picard did the first episode of Next Generation. Q, the omnipotent being, puts him on trial to defend humanity.
Yeah. So the rest of the episode now jumps between scenes on Deep Space Nine and Sisko's encounter with the wormhole alien. And I'm assuming that Cole has done a close reading of the flashback Sisko sequences. So maybe I'll sort of I'll move between the scenes, but come at me as you are, Cole. So on Deep Space Nine, Kira wants to move the station to the mouth of the wormhole and stake a claim for the Bajorans. So it's very like...
Yeah, so back where, corporeal entities are just trying to get by, they got this problem to solve. And it's a nice character moment for Kira. She's the first to realize the value of the wormhole. She's been cranky this whole episode, but she's like, wait, there's a wormhole in Bajoran space. I need to capitalize on this for my people.
Yeah.
And I like that. And then, of course, we learn a little bit more about Odo.
Mm-hmm. So he reveals that he was found in the Denorius Belt, which is like a bit of foreshadowing. And he thinks the answers to the questions that he has about himself might be through the wormhole. And they just might be.
They just might be. I mean, the writers think they just might be. The writers actually have no idea. But
or do they?
They have no idea.
Look, you give the writers a lot of credit. Can we just...
Well, I'll give the writers this much. They created a show with a lot of unanswered questions. And then over 7 years came up with answers to those questions. Unlike... Lost.
I mean, look, a lot of the questions are quite character driven.
Yes.
And sort of small stakes. So it's maybe more achievable than like a huge thought experiment.
But again, I know I'm kissing the feet of the writers. The Odo question of where he came from is a very small character driven question that becomes a massive answer that guides the course of the entire series. Yeah. And that's credit to these writers just thinking like, how do we answer this question that we posed, and what we can do when we go down this wormhole of thought.
Oh, how much wine have you had?
I mean,
I'm feeling a little fuzzy,
just the right amount.
Good.
I'm feeling great. I mean, maybe it's right that by the time I'm on my third glass of wine, Sisko is defending humanity on the trial against non-corporeal life forms.
Exactly.
Because things are getting fuzzy.
Things are getting real fuzzy on screen filters and also in my brain. So the celestial beings suggest killing Sisko because he's a corporeal being who threatens annihilation. And this is spoken through the memories of Picard and Locutus.
And I think, maybe I'm getting predictable, but these aliens, they say, we exist to seek contact with other life forms. They basically admit to sending these orbs out to contact other life forms. And they see humans as aggressive and invasive. Mm-hmm. And the link I went to is humans at the beginning of every Next Generation episode saying, we are here to seek out new life and new civilizations. And then they come up against antagonists like the Borg. Mm-hmm. And the prophets are accusing Sisko and humans of the same thing.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. So Sisko is defending humanity, and he argues that people are some of their experiences. But at the same time, he's sort of realizing that the beings are not linear. So he has to explain what this is, and that his existence is linear, and therefore that makes him not a threat.
Right. And it's a bit of a tenuous case, Sisko. I think you're really grasping at straws.
Meanwhile, back on DS9.
By the way, can I just say,
yes.
But like the baseball player whose like only line in the show is with this Boston accent lisp. Aggressive, adversarial. My best friend in 5th grade and I, we just spent one whole summer walking around yelling aggressive, adversarial to each other.
Oh, cute.
So that line really brings me back.
Is he listening now?
Yeah. Doug, thank you for listening to this podcast, and thank you for watching Deep Space Nine with me.
You're a big reason for why we're here tonight.
Truth.
Meanwhile, O'Brien is on DS9. He's grumpy and he's getting shit done. His sleeves are up. And long story short, he manages to move Deep Space Nine closer to the wormhole. Sisko and the celestial beings discuss death in a linear existence through the character of Jennifer. Sisko says that each day affects the next, and he also brings up the concept of pleasure.
And these aliens don't even know what pleasure is. They got to live a little.
Like, what are they doing?
Come on, guys. Mix it. What are you doing? What do you exist for? Wormhole aliens?
Shooting orbs out your wormhole.
There's so many choices that actually make this whole sequence really beautiful. I love that the prophets discover for themselves that they are characters in Sisko's mind. They don't even know. They've sort of gone into Sisko's mind telepathically, and they're learning we are all individuals. We all have relationships with this Sisko person. And the Jennifer prophet, I feel like she even starts to develop these feelings. She learns how much Jennifer meant to Sisko, and she starts to just understand human love.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
Yeah, and they can't believe that people exist in a linear way and then just die one day.
It's just the most
It
awful
is
thing.
outrageous.
Which is fact.
Yeah.
Now, okay, when actual Jennifer and actual Sisko are having a cute picnic and they talk about domestic inquiries. Is that the worst flirting to ever hit television?
And let's get back to the beach.
Star Trek writers.
Oh, gross.
Learn sexual tension and don't talk about domestic inquiries.
Oh, God.
That being said.
Is this how straight people talk to each other?
You tell me, girl.
I'm a straight woman.
Is this how Star Trek nerds flirt with each other?
So now we've flashed back to the day that Jennifer dies. Back in the memory of...
Back with the Bolian.
the blue guy.
The blue guy's a Bolian, Lily. Go on.
So Blue Jensen, he's like walking down and he's looking into the room where Jennifer's body is.
He says, I don't want to be here.
I don't want to be here, but then why do you exist here?
How about that shot where
she just walks out in her bikini?
Bikini cat Jennifer walks out of the fire. I mean, I think it's sort of why she's confused. She's like, why do I have to be dead here, but I'm in a hot bikini there? Like, I am Jennifer, right? And he tries to explain Lost again. And then something really interesting happens. A Cardassian ship who's been tailing Sisko enters the wormhole and disrupts the proceedings. Suddenly, everything is unstable, and the wormhole aliens are upset, and then the wormhole closes. And the aliens explain to Sisko that when corporeal beings invade the wormhole, it disrupts them. Question mark.
So why have they chosen to do it?
Which I think maybe I'll stick a pin in that question because that's we wouldn't expect that based on what happens the rest of the show.
Yeah.
But they go on to continue about philosophy and
they're back on the beach, and then he's back with Picard. They're gonna kiss.
Were the actors actually that close?
But Sisko sort of argues that every choice has a consequence, and when you live in a linear fashion, you have to know that you'll have consequences for everything that you choose to do.
Yeah, I guess
without knowing what will happen.
It is again a strange defense. Like, we mean you no harm because we have no idea what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
it's effectively what he's saying.
And then it becomes some hetero propaganda about people getting married and having babies, and that's the point.
The
procreation is sort of like the point.
I think. Well, I guess I just see love as the point. But the aliens get procreation. They're like, oh, procreation. Oh, okay. Sure, we do that.
You should have said that
Great.
at the beginning.
They bring up baseball.
Yeah.
I love that baseball is present in the very first episode of Deep Space Nine.
All right.
Well, I mean, first of all, it's for the rest of the show. It becomes an amazing use of symbolism. Yeah.
I mean, right now they're using it as a metaphor for how a linear life existence would work because actions have consequences.
Yep. But the prophets see it as competition and aggressiveness. Aggressive, adversarial.
Adversarial.
Which, frankly, sports are aggressive and adversarial. Yeah. So the prophets know what's up.
Yeah.
But baseball is also the most American sport ever. It's like apple pie and baseball. And
he's not just Federation. He's an all-American man.
And I think so often in Star Trek, when you're talking about the Federation and humanity, you're actually talking about the United States.
Yes.
And so here we are. Sisko is basically defending American colonialism.
Yes.
and manifest destiny, defending why we go to the final frontier, why we go out into the wilderness, why we want to be heroes, the Bashirs of the world. It's almost like America becomes on trial.
About time.
Absolutely.
I mean, I guess he's also making an argument for the sanctity of life being linear and being finite. I think that's what I get. As a non-American, that's what...
So if you were a wormhole alien, why would you be compelled? Okay, like, they think their lives are precious. Why are they not threats?
Because they're kind of like a fly. They live for a few days and then they're done.
Yeah.
My existence is way more complex.
I guess they're seeing that Sisko is...
a complex little fly.
And he's obsessed with his wife, his son, moments of love, moments of loss. And he's not obsessed with assimilation.
Yeah. And that they can empathize. They find some similarity because Sisko hasn't actually been living in a linear fashion. He's been living in the past.
Yeah, so it ends... Sisko's trying to teach them the whole time. He's trying to teach them about humanity. But they end up showing him that he is nonlinear. That he's stuck at this moment where his wife died. And he has to concede where he's at right now. His mental state is nonlinear. He's hung up on the loss of his wife. And it's actually fascinating that that's the very final interaction you see in this episode between Sisko and the aliens. They sort of nod when he concedes that his life is not linear. And then the next thing you know, Sisko comes out of the wormhole and says, we can travel through the wormhole as much as we like.
Oh, the negotiation's not even in there.
It's not even featured in the episode.
Whoa, so what else did they talk about?
And what happened? And why did the aliens, this concession that Sisko's life isn't linear and that he's frankly traumatized.
He's stuck in a trauma loop.
And and he's working through grief. That's what convinced them to allow these pesky little ants to travel through the wormhole.
Yeah. It's like when we as humans watch the movie Ants. And we're like, hang on, I'm Woody Allen. So there was the B story happening as well with Kira, who was dealing with a diplomatic nightmare.
Oh, Gul Jasad.
Gul Jasad.
He's the man.
I mean, he's very skin-colored.
Is he not the MVP of acting for this episode?
It's great. He does a lot with what he's given.
He's just so indignant. If I were one of them, I would make it my goal to just try to piss off Gul Jasad as much as possible.
I feel like Dukat, well, we find out later, is like super into Bajoran women. Yeah. But Jasad is like a racist. He hates Bajorans.
Okay. And
humans. But he's like, don't you think he's just like got a permanent sneer? He is just like outraged that anyone is even speaking to him.
I feel like the actor is just like, my motivation is to sneer.
Yeah.
And he nails it. I love Gul Jasad.
So yeah, what happens is he doesn't believe that the Cardassian ship that's disappeared and gone through the wormhole, he doesn't believe that. Like that little line about how it's gone through the wormhole, the wormhole's collapsed.
He sneers, yeah.
He sneers at that, and then he does a classic trope of, you have 1 hour. To make them reappear or whatever. And then Kira bluffs Gul Jasad into thinking that they have the ability to defend themselves. The Cardassians attack, pew pew pew. I don't really care about battle scenes, but you can talk about it if you want.
What matters is that Dax gets to be clever, O'Brien gets to kick some bulkheads, Kira gets to strategize, and we see the teamwork, being teamy. It's great.
I feel like Bashir fixes a small wound.
Oh, yeah, we haven't even... So, again, eventually, Jasad gets pissed off and starts pew-pew-pewing.
Yeah.
To the point that, like, a lot of bulkheads fall on bystanders, allowing Bashir...
But I thought that Kira and Sisko dealt with the bulkheads by, like, throwing them around places.
But they put them back up in the ceiling, only for them to fall again on the passersby.
Now they got to clean it up again.
More cleanup, but it's what we do. In episode 2, they're picking up more bulkheads.
Oh, spoilers.
So, excuse
me.
Don't
tell people about the bulkheads.
But what matters is that we see Bashir mending people, and we learn, this man is a good doctor, which will come in later in later episodes.
Yeah. But he's a good doctor.
It's important, yeah. So he's a good doctor. Characterization.
Yep. So then the wormhole reappears, and Sisko, Howard's DS9, comes back on board, and the Cardassians...
Towing Ducat's ship in his wake.
Oh, is that... Yeah, okay.
A little FU to the Cardassians.
Sure,
like, I know you guys don't like us, but we're going to save you in our tractor beam.
And while we're talking about it, we don't know what happened with the wormhole aliens. Do we know what happened with Sisko and Ducat?
It makes me wonder, and I've actually researched deleted scenes. And there's no
sex scene, explicit.
Just all sex scenes. There's a number of deleted scenes, but none of them have more interaction between the wormhole aliens or Ducat. So we don't know what the heck happened to Ducat's ship in the wormhole or in the Gamma Quadrant. But more interestingly, we don't know how Sisko finally convinced the prophets to let people go in and out, and because now we've got access to the Gamma Quadrant, and it's going to revolutionize commerce and sociopolitics for Bajor for the rest of the series, and how these aliens who created the wormhole are okay with it, we never actually learn.
Yeah.
And all I can speculate is that they've really taken a look inside Sisko's soul, and he's shown them really what Captain Kirk and Captain Picard tell us at the beginning of every Star Trek episode opening until now, which is humans are here to seek out new life and new civilizations, to explore strange new worlds, to boldly go where no one's gone before. This is humanity, and this is what we're here for. And the prophets see him and believe him, and let him keep doing what Star Trek captains have been doing for all of Star Trek. I guess.
And maybe they just traumatize persons because they're funnier.
And I guess they're super into traumatized people.
Yeah.
It really got me wondering just how much the prophets even care about little ants, including Bajorans, how much they care about Sisko. And I think you could make an argument that they actually care deeply about Sisko because he is their emissary. Again, this is called Emissary, and it's all about Sisko's suddenly getting this new role in life, which is to be the liaison between these aliens and all us little ants. And the prophets are invested in that relationship. And maybe they're invested in him healing and coming to terms with his grief and moving on. And so it's almost like they know exactly what they were doing, and they're helping him come to terms with himself so that he can then be their emissary.
Maybe he's like a little soap opera, and they're super invested. They're gonna record a podcast.
The
about
prophets love some drama.
Yeah.
And frankly, so do I.
So there's a station log to conclude where Sisko explains that the wormhole aliens have agreed to provide safe passage for travelers through the wormhole. And after this, Sisko has a final meeting with Picard,
where he says, "Hey, Picard, you know how I was thinking about getting a transfer? I'm in it. Let's do this."
I like it.
Picard doesn't know what happened. He's relieved, so he doesn't have to find someone new.
It's a whole lot of paperwork.
But Sisko's like, "I'm ready for this."
Yeah.
And then, of course, O'Brien gets the final line.
Does he?
I believe his final line is about fixing some fuel conduits.
Sure.
And
It sets the tone.
and for the rest of the series, we know that O'Brien's going to be trying to fix some ODN relays and some fuel conduits. And the
Gosh
rest,
darn it, he's going to try.
the rest is history.
Yeah.
Now, okay, can I talk about how I think this episode proved that Deep Space Nine deserves to exist?
Great. Hear me.
So I told you at the beginning that it set out to do two things: to prove that it's time for another Star Trek show and the world needs another Star Trek show, and that Star Trek show should be set on a space station. Mm-hmm. So I think the coolest thing in this episode is that the most problematic characters are these humans who have shown up to assimilate Bajor. Mm-hmm. The show came out in 1993, 2 years after the fall of the Soviet Union. And have you heard the term the end of history?
I haven't. No.
So in the early 90s, when the Soviet Union collapsed, a lot of very prominent scholars had the gall to actually declare that it was the end of history. Francis Fukuyama actually famously wrote a book saying it's the end of history and we did it. Liberal democracy had won and humanity had gotten there. Good news everyone, we did it.
Wow.
And people actually believed it and took it seriously.
Way to jinx it, guys.
Right? How could people think that the end of the Cold War was the end of strife on Earth? And what is actually amazing about this episode is that you've got a bunch of humans, aka Americans, who show up saying, all right, we're ready to bring our liberal democracy. You're welcome. And the prophets are like, wait, are you sure? Because we don't like that. You guys seem really aggressive.
Adversarial.
And you've got some issues to work out.
Yeah.
And they force Sisko to be like, oh yeah, actually we're explorers. And the prophets are like, yeah, you're like us. And so how about you spend your time exploring yourselves? I think Sisko says we are here to explore. We explore the galaxy and we explore our lives day by day. Mm-hmm. That's what Star Trek's about. And the prophets are like, yeah, on this Star Trek show, how about you guys stop thinking that it's the end of history and that you've done it, and you actually keep looking within and understanding yourselves better. Mm-hmm. And that's what a new Star Trek show needs, to actually like call out Americans in Western civilization for thinking they're the shit.
Yeah.
The other cool thing is, okay, so why are we here on the space station where no one's moving? We don't really know what Roddenberry thought of Deep Space Nine because he actually passed away before it premiered. Rick Berman claims that he ran the idea by Roddenberry.
Sure.
Very dubious. Roddenberry's assistant says, no, you didn't, and he would have hated it. He heard the premise and thought, Star Trek is not about being a space hotel.
Yeah, and it's not a utopia.
Right.
Yeah.
Marina Sirtis has said she actually made waves because she was talking. I love Marina Sirtis, who played
great.
Deanna Troi.
Yeah.
And she's like, what did she say? The truth is, if Roddenberry was alive, DS9 would have never been made because he absolutely said no to it, saying Star Trek is about exploring space. It's not about a hotel in space. All these people, including the fans, they said, a space station is not Star Trek. Being stuck in place, not moving, is not what we're about. And isn't it cool that what did Sisko learn with the prophets? He learned that he, until coming to Deep Space Nine, had been stuck in one point in his life. He had been dwelling on this moment where his wife died and he couldn't move past it. And the prophets say, it's time for you to move past this. Mm-hmm. And so you're actually going to be a dynamic character who has a lot to learn and a lot of ways to grow. And I guess basically for the rest of the show, the characters are growing. The questions being asked get more and more complex. And it's actually one of the most dynamic shows. Yeah. So Space Station be damned. Everything is evolving and changing in really cool ways.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thesis.
Okay, I've had 4 glasses of wine. I'm about as fuzzy as those wormhole visions right now. But did you understand my point?
It's great, and you look great.
Oh, stop. That's just the wine goggles.
What? You look amazing.
Cheers.
I'm just finishing off the bottle.
Any final thoughts before we wrap up this episode?
Look, I did do a short analysis of the final scenes. I can read that.
Great.
Odo and Bashir have a boring interaction. Quark makes a move on Kira, who is a strong, independent 90s woman who won't have a bar of it. And she's all like, if you don't remove your hand from my hip, then rah, rah, rah. And then Quark is a rapist, and he's like, I'm into that. Dax, Sisko, and O'Brien discuss repairs, as we discussed. And all the scenes move in quick succession with the characters walking and talking in a sort of Aaron Sorkin style. Mm-hmm. And then the camera pans away to show the bustling promenade. And the final shot is of the exterior of Deep Space Nine. Roll credit.
Ba, 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 ba.
Oh.
So, Lily, how'd that wine bottle hit you?
It was...
Deep Space Fine?
I was trying to come up with a pun to do with Terek Noir. I was like, it was Pinot Terek Noir.
That's so much nerdier than anything I said that whole episode. You coming in here with Terek Noir puns? I feel better about this whole, Los Angeles Park Easter egg observation.
Oh my God, I love that. That was amazing. Is that my comms badge or am I buzzed?
To Lily, you're drunk. All right, nerds, signing off. Bye.
Bye.
Deep Space Wine is hosted by Lily Rawson and myself, Cole Paulson. Music provided by Cercle Nouvelle, artwork by Danielle Vernelson, and special thanks to Bloom and Izzy Rawson, who, whether she likes it or not, will eventually become a DS9 fan.